Broadcasting from Detroit's Cass Corridor, where history hums in the brick. It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent.
And I'm Tia Graham. Today on the show, we're tracing the threads that hold this city together. Work, art, justice, and love.
In Wayne County's courtrooms, some attorneys say they're fighting for kids and families on pay that hasn't changed since cassette tapes ruled the airwaves.
And across Michigan, Indigenous voices are demanding that the missing be seen, the unfinished stories find their endings.
And in downtown Detroit, tribal drums punctuate the air when a powwow returns after 30 years away.
And later on, Container on the Metro meets Bev Love, a Detroit artist making music that sounds like the soft rawness of the city.
And we'll close with a look back at revolutionary thinker Grace Lee Boggs, who never stopped believing Detroit could teach the world how to change.
This is the Metro, where the story continues.
We begin with the people who keep that story going inside our courtrooms. The attorneys working with Detroit's youth say their pay hasn't kept pace with their purpose. They say they haven't had a raise in 3 decades, and they're asking Wayne County to change that. They also claim that, when compared to Oakland and Macomb counties, juvenile attorneys in Wayne get paid a lot less, which has led to fewer people taking the job. To discuss what juvenile attorneys do and their case for a pay raise, we have Marc Shreeman here. He's a Wayne County juvenile attorney and also has a private legal practice. Marc, welcome to the Metro.
Thank you for having me.
So I should note that the Metro contacted a lot of different people for this piece. We contacted the Wayne County Executive's office, but did not get a comment from them. We also contacted Wayne County Court administrators. They distribute pay to juvenile attorneys, and a representative said they're working closely with Wayne County to address potential funding options, and that they recently met with Wayne County commissioners on the Ways and Means Committee about this topic. And so because of that, we also contacted Commissioner Jonathan Kinloch, the chair of the Ways and Means Committee, but we haven't received a comment from his office yet. So, Marc, first, very briefly, describe your work as a juvenile attorney, if you would. What do you do for Wayne County?
Certainly. So in Wayne County, as an attorney, I represent both juveniles and their parents in the juvenile court. That includes both delinquency cases, which are crimes committed by children, as well as neglect and abuse cases, cases where families are in need of assistance because of issues in the home. A child may be at risk of neglect or abuse. Someone files a petition to make them a temporary court ward, and the state provides services to this family. So we as attorneys either represent the children in those cases or their parents as they work their way through the system.
Marc, so what I'm hearing is that you are a voice for a lot of vulnerable people.
Absolutely. The most vulnerable citizens in our community, I proudly represent.
So you and other attorneys say that you get paid less than Oakland and Macomb County attorneys, but the issues that Wayne County residents are dealing with could be much greater than those, let's say, in some of those neighboring counties, and that's because there's a higher concentration of poverty in Wayne County. Is that how you see things?
Absolutely. In Wayne County, we have extreme issues of poverty, homelessness, drug and alcohol addiction. These are layered together in the way we raise our children. And that's why our cases are very difficult and complex.
I'd like you to expand on that a little bit more when it comes to the actual caseload. So already you're saying that you feel the cases tend to be more complex than in, say, other counties that are more affluent. Are you also seeing a higher volume of cases than in comparison to other counties?
Yes, Wayne County has by far the greatest volume of cases and the greatest needs, both on the delinquency and on the neglect and abuse. And the delinquency cases are important because we're trying to stop the pipeline from high school to prison. And juvenile delinquency cases are the canary in the coal mine that lets us know a child is at risk.
So you see that time as pivotal. Talk more about that, about creating those stopgap measures so that kids do not end up deeper, falling through the cracks deeper of the criminal justice system.
Certainly. On the delinquency side, which are the juvenile crimes, we have extended programs, many different programs that assist families and a child to perform better in the community, in the household, and in the school system. And we monitor those kids if they come in for a relatively small minor crime. We monitor and provide them services until they complete those programs and are headed on a better track. On the neglect and abuse side, this is where we see families that are in serious need of assistance due to drugs or alcohol or homelessness, many factors that bring families into care. We provide services to those families, parenting classes, individual counseling, drug and alcohol therapy to those that need it, help with housing assistance, and we monitor them for a lengthy period of time to ensure that they're back on the right track before we dismiss a case and they can get on with their lives.
So that's all to say that you're trying to take a holistic view when it comes to these cases and the individuals you're working with.
Very much so. The entire family and all of their needs are very important and central to what we do to make them better parents and raise better families.
What is the pay like right now, and what are you asking for?
So the pay has not been adjusted in Wayne County Juvenile Court since 1990. Oakland County right now gave their juvenile attorneys 2 raises in 2024 that now makes their pay more than 100% greater than what Wayne County is paying for their attorneys. For example, if you were a house counsel in Oakland County, you're on duty to await any cases that may come in. You're paid $360 for that morning. In Wayne County, you're paid $150 for the same work.
You've said that there were 120 Wayne County juvenile attorneys just 4 years ago, and now there are fewer than 60. How much does this have to do with the pay that you've just described, how comparatively lower it is? And how much, though, does it stem from the emotionally taxing and demanding nature of the job?
Well, I think that if you're comparing apples to apples, the lawyers that step up to do this kind of work in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne are all prepared to deal with the emotional trauma that comes from helping these families. However, lawyers have to eat. And while a great deal of this is public service, and I'm grateful to participate in the public service arena, we still need to get paid. And unfortunately, I think a great deal of the loss of attorneys in Wayne County is directly attributable to the fees. We see those same attorneys turning down cases in Wayne and moving to Oakland. And the caseload in Wayne is tremendously higher than in Oakland. So we're squeezing fewer and fewer lawyers to do more and more cases for far less compensation.
Marc, all of this sounds really hard, and it has me wondering why? Why do this work? Why did you sign up for it?
That's a great question, and one I ask myself often. But the truth is that I get a great deal of satisfaction in helping the families that I'm able to help. Even if it's 1 out of 10 clients, that one family that I know I've made a difference in is very meaningful. I can settle PI lawsuits and get people divorces and run through probate court. That's all fine and dandy. But nothing gives me the satisfaction of helping families in need.
So it injects a lot of meaning into your life to do this work.
It does. It's very good to know that I'm helping people. It makes the drudgery of the remainder of my job much more palatable.
Yeah.
And it is difficult work, but it is emotionally very rewarding.
It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. My guest is Wayne County Juvenile Attorney Marc Shreeman. We're discussing Wayne County attorneys' demands for higher pay, which they say is much lower than the same attorneys in Oakland and Macomb counties. Now, Marc, you say that Oakland and Macomb counties, that they are getting higher pay. We've talked about this. Is it possible that Wayne County simply can't pay you more because the county is too poor? I mean, this happens in other situations too when we compare county departments. Oftentimes, Wayne County employees are getting paid less than Macomb and Oakland employees because of funding. So what do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I think it's a matter of priorities. Where are your priorities as a community? Are your priorities on funding other special projects or protecting the most vulnerable families in our community? And secondly, I would just point out that in dealing with the county, they have never indicated that resources or funding is an issue in this dispute. It's something that, certainly court administration has recognized a need for and just continued to kick the can down the road for years now.
So you're seeing that the city is not, or the county is not prioritizing this work that you find to be very valuable and integral when it comes to young people and their development and diverting them from the justice system.
That's correct. And whether it's just not being aware of the problem or not recognizing the need, it's something that's reached a critical mass by today. And we cannot continue to follow this path. The age of the attorneys in the juvenile court is higher than any other court in the state, and we're not bringing in new, vibrant attorneys to pick up the baton and carry this very important area of justice forward.
Marc, what would the consequences be for Wayne County residents? Can you try and paint a picture for us?
Well, it's not a pretty picture. You are going to reach a point where we have underfunded, elderly, lack of energy attorneys that are working too many cases. And that's just bound to lead to less desirable results, less focus on individual cases, and worse results.
In the last 30 seconds that we have here, Marc, when you do your job well and things go right, what happens? In other words, what's the signal to you that you've done well?
Well, I think the first thing that happens is, on the neglect and abuse side, is parents recognize their own shortcomings and begin to address it. And once they begin to address whatever brought them before the court, the rest of their lives improve dramatically, and their families' lives improve. Their children become happier, more well-adjusted, they do better in school, and they do better in the community. We really are seeding the earth to make better citizens for Wayne County.
Wayne County Juvenile Attorney Marc Shreeman, thank you so much for joining me on the Metro.
Thank you.
It's the Metro on WDET, and today is Indigenous Peoples Day. So up next, we'll look at a problem that's disproportionately impacting tribal communities. This is the Metro. Stay with us.